Virat Kohli has as much skills as a lot of other people, but Virat Kohli is mentally tougher than everyone else. He knows his game better than everyone else.
Question I got wherever I went was, when are you going to play for the country?
There are opportunities to learn and there are memories to make. There are friendships to make.
You don't have to be number one in the world, you just have to be number one to yourself.
The people who get better are the ones who learn from each and every game, who get to know themselves better. There is more to life and there's more to success. If you want to succeed in this game, there's more to it than just practicing your skills on a cricket field. The talent, it becomes a pyramid. The talent, the difference between each one of you will become less.
Sometimes support comes from the most unexpected places and it can make all the difference.
You need to understand your personalities as well. You need to know what makes you succeed. You need to know what situations you feel nervous. Experience is not playing more matches. Experience is learning from matches you play. You can play 30 matches, and if you don't learn anything, it's like playing the same match 30 times. But the people who improve, the people who get better, are the ones who learn from each and every game, who get to know themselves better. Right? So all of you, whether you won or lost, it is not a day wasted. A lot of times people get disappointed. Oh, we lost the match. Oh, we didn't play well. I scored 0. But that doesn't matter. You've had an experience. What have you learned from that experience? What have you learned from watching somebody else bat? Somebody scored 100 today. Somebody scored a 90. Even if you have not scored runs, you can learn something from watching them. That is what will help you. All of you are young. It's a journey. These are just experiences. There's no good and bad. People get disappointed very quickly. What is important is what you learn from these experiences, and that will take you ahead. Also, what is important is, in these experiences, is memories that all of you will take from these occasions. There are opportunities to learn and there are memories to make. There are friendships to make. So a lot of times people ask me what is the difference and who are the kind of people who make it to the next level, and what do I need to do, and how do I need to get to the next level, how do I need to keep improving. I think all of you, one of the things just my experience of coaching over the last few years, one of the things that I've sort of seen is the boys who tend to succeed more in pressure situations, or the ones who are succeeding in the big games, are people who have slightly more well-rounded personalities. So all of you are obviously practicing. Every one of you practices every day. I'm sure you're working hard. I don't need to say these things. These things are part and parcel of what you are as cricketers. I'm sure you love the game, so you practice every day. Your coaches keep telling you to do that. But there is more to life and there's more to success. If you want to succeed in this game, there's more to it than just practicing your skills on a cricket field. There's a lot more to cricket than just cricket skills. A lot of the game, as you go higher and higher, is about the mind. It's the mental side of the game. You need to understand your personalities as well. You need to know what makes you succeed. You need to know what situations you feel nervous in. You need to understand your personalities. You need to grow as people. As much as you're growing as cricketers, you also need to grow as people. If you grow as people, there comes a point of time where some of you will be better than others at this age. No doubt about it. Simply because you have practiced more. Maybe you have hit more balls. Maybe you had a father who was throwing you balls from the age of 5. Maybe you had a coach who was passionate about you, so you're better than the other guy at 15, at 16, at 17, even at 18. But after some time, the talent, it becomes a pyramid. The talent, the difference between each one of you will become less. The people who will stand out are the people who can handle pressure better. The people who will stand out is not, just because you're successful at 15 doesn't mean you'll be successful at 19. Just because you're successful at 19 doesn't mean you'll be successful at 23. Doesn't mean you'll be successful at 25. The difference will be the people who handle pressure better. The difference will be people who understand that as you go higher and higher, the mental side of the game becomes more and more important. How you handle failure, how you handle success, what is your temperament. You have to work on these things right from now. You have to know that small things like being able to handle a pressure situation. How do I handle a pressure? What do I learn from a pressure? Today was a final. Some of you have done well, some of you have done bad, not done that well. I wouldn't say badly, some of you may not have done that well. What happened, what was it that you were thinking? You haven't done that well. What was it that was going on in your mind? You need to start that journey. Just like you're learning to play a cover drive, you need to start learning how your mind works even from now. If you start thinking about how your mind works now, then you'll get better at 17, then you'll get better at 19. Then that will be the differentiating factor as you go higher and higher up the ranks. Virat Kohli has as much skills as a lot of other people, but Virat Kohli is mentally tougher than everyone else. He knows his game better than everyone else. And knowing your game starts at a very young age. Right? So don't forget that aspect of cricket as well. Yes, you're practicing, yes, you're hitting balls, yes, you're going to be bowling in the nets. All of those things are important. And that nobody can teach you. What is going on in your head, only you know. Even your coach doesn't know, even your parents don't know. Right? That is learning that only you can learn. Only you know what you were thinking in the middle there. Only you know what you're thinking when you're going out to bat. Only you know which situations put you under pressure. How do I come out of that? What do I learn from those situations? Right? Those journeys have to start right from this young age.
Looking back, I'm certain that cricket has made me a better, more well-rounded person. It certainly gave me the opportunity to mature personally and the platform to experience both success and failure, learn from them and accept them both as part of life. I'm often asked for advice on how to be successful. Honestly, there are a million ways to be successful, and I'm nobody to tell you which one is right for you. Each one of us has to find our own path. I'd like you to picture a boy born in a typical middle-class family. I was that boy. What made us somewhat different was that my uncle played alongside C.K. Naidu for the Holkar team, and my dad represented his university team, and he was completely cricket crazy. The radio commentary was always on at home during test matches, and my father followed every single match, whether international or domestic. He took me and my brother along to stadiums to watch the greats in action at every possible opportunity. To his mind, there was no better use of our time. Like any young boy, I hero worshipped my father, and my curiosity about this game that he was so passionate about grew progressively deeper. As I spent more time watching the game with him and playing it in my backyard and on the street, my curiosity gave way to interest. And before long, this interest gave way to love. The seed had been sown. I remember at some point in those early years feeling like I knew deep inside me what I had been born to do. That finding myself in the Dravid household was no accident of birth, it appeared. I learned that sometimes inspiration just stares you in the face. Through my school days, I was getting more and more immersed into my own world of cricket. Winning the inter-school tournament felt like winning the World Cup. Captaining the school and state teams was my greatest mission. However, there is an interesting story from my school days which I would like to tell you. My love for cricket notwithstanding, my parents had the same doubts and fears as any other parents of our time. What was to become of me if all I thought about was cricket? When I was in the 8th standard, they took their concerns to my school principal, Father Coelho. I had just made the state under-15 team for the second year in a row, and the tournament was out of state and during the school term. My parents met Father Coelho and apologetically stated that as my cricket would interfere with my studies and school attendance, they could not ask me to go to play the tournament. They therefore sought his advice on the way forward. Father Coelho, after giving them a patient hearing, told them, "You leave his studies to me, I'll handle that. You let him play cricket. It is a great adventure he is embarking on, and let's support him." I distinctly remember jumping with joy in my principal's office. There were suddenly others who believed in me and my dream and were committed to supporting me. It felt incredible. Had my school principal agreed with my parents' concerns, there was a chance I would have stopped playing serious cricket altogether, maybe got better marks in maths and physics, and my life would then have followed another script. I learned that sometimes support comes from the most unexpected places, and it can make all the difference. Question I got wherever I went was, "When are you going to play for the country?" Now this is not something that I had any control over, but the question began to dominate my life and my being. Even when it wasn't asked, it was the elephant in the room. I ended up playing 5 years of domestic cricket before getting my national break. It was frustrating. I remember putting a sticker on my kinetic Honda which read, "God's delays are not God's denials." As you can see, playing domestic cricket makes you spiritual as well. Upon my retirement, I had no regrets, no unfulfilled professional goals, and nothing left to prove to myself. I had climbed my mountain, the one I had originally set out to climb as a little boy. At the start of my journey, I had been inspired by my father's passion, which I made my own. As I began climbing the mountain I had set my eyes on, I received lots of support along the way from my school principal and numerous others. Tangible success might not have come to me immediately, but my early experiences helped me build a solid platform that would equip me and empower me in the future. As I sat alone, dealing with my successes and failure, I got to understand myself better. The climb became everything to me, and I immersed myself in it. As I got closer to the top of my mountain, I managed to remain focused and keep my eyes on the destination. And when I finally got there, I just thoroughly enjoyed being where I stood at the moment in time. A sense of peace and clarity enveloped me. It was then that I realized that you don't have to be number one in the world, you just have to be number one to yourself.